EB, in the second part of this interview, I want to go back to cryptocurrencies. You mentioned that earlier. Let's dive into this in more detail. I had your partner Brett Heath on not too long ago. He was talking about cryptos with me, and he said that cryptocurrencies could lead the next financial crisis. He was referring to, he was alluding to previous examples of new technologies leading crises. 2001, for example, was the tech bubble, as you know. What do you think of this statement?
Well, so Brett has some controversial opinions about this. What I like to focus on is 20 years ago, you had a concept that came out of the news called the e-dollar. I don't know if you remember this. A lot of people remember this. So there was this idea that we would have an e-dollar because everybody was used to using the internet in the late 90s. I remember when you first got email, you got a CD from AOL in the mail. They would send you a CD every 2 or 3 days until you finally give up and subscribe to their antiquated service. And you would put this thing in your computer, and then you say, "Wow, it's amazing! My friend wrote me a message, on the computer. I'm so excited to check my messages when I get home." Okay, so then this became ubiquitous, and people got used to doing things online. They felt safe, and then they said this e-dollar, but everybody repelled. Everybody said, "No, no, no, that's we're not doing that because we like privacy with our money." Okay, you remember this? I mean, this was a huge trend. So everybody pushed away the idea of an e-dollar. What cryptocurrencies have done is people have really embraced the idea of no privacy. So nobody wants privacy anymore. They love the idea of everything being tracked. And in my book, chapter 17, I wrote about FedCoin. That's how I believe this will all end. I wrote this book, last year. So a lot of these things are starting to happen. There's more to come that I talk about in the book. So what cryptocurrencies have done is remember I was telling you prior, in Miami, my waiters, I would ask waiters at the restaurant, servers, I would say, "Do you have any cryptocurrency?" And all of them, "Oh yeah, I've got it. I've been studying it." Well, where do you study it? On Reddit. I'm reading all the time on Reddit. I'm trying to buy this polka dot coin. I got the sushi coin. And I said, "Look, there's 10,000 coins. How do you choose?" "Oh, it's so hard, but I think EOS coin is going to be the new money." It's absolutely insane. Okay, so everyone is totally bought in to the idea of having no privacy. When I say no privacy, what I'm saying to you is, and I say this in the book, is that every single transaction that ever happens will be tracked. It will be impossible to counterfeit dollars. It will be impossible to evade taxes. And the government will be able to control what you do with every single dollar that ever comes into your FedCoin wallet. When you say it like that, it sounds scary, but you say, "Well, no, 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 I think it's going to be polka dot coin." Okay, so let me get this straight. You think the Fed is going to say, "We don't want to control the money anymore. Let's just let, the programmers and random people at the Bitcoin conference control the money." Impossible, because the US uses control of its money to run around the world and play policeman and do what it wants. Okay, so as this comes to pass, now what Brett's talking about, you've got to see the logic here. The internet bubble in the 90s, first there was limited adoption, then the smart people got involved, then everybody got involved, then your neighbor was telling you, "You got to buy this stock, it's a pink sheet. I don't know what they do, but they're going to have a website. You got to buy it." Remember that? Pets.com, you got to get into that. There's just a website. There's no business. And then at the end of it, the air came out. There was a crash. But the technology is ubiquitous in the society today. Okay, so there's a lot of similarities. I mean, 5 years ago, if you talked about Bitcoin, people thought you sounded kind of dumb. I mean, I remember this because I pitched this idea at a newsletter event that we had, and people thought it was too complicated. But now your waiter's telling you about it, and your cousin's telling you about hamburger coin, and you got to get involved before it shoots to the moon. But it's only a tenth of a penny.
Maybe your waiter's an econ and PhD, and he's just waiting tables to pay the bills for his tuition. Who knows?
Should have gone to a better school, I guess. Right.
I get your point. I get your point.
Yeah. The thing is that you've got people making money out of proportion to their ability. That's what you want to look for to judge where you are in a market. Do you see how this goes? When people are making outsized profits compared to their ability. Now, that doesn't mean just because you're smart, you make money. As you know, being smart's not really the trick in life. Okay. But what you're seeing now is people that really have no idea how to manage money or how a market works,
Yeah.
throwing their money to and from 10,000 different coins as fast as they can. This is a little crazy.
I want to ask you about the recent news of El Salvador, the country of El Salvador, moving to legalize Bitcoin as legal tender. You know, we're talking about, you know, you were talking about cryptos being overhyped. A country is now adopting it to be used. First of all, why do you think they're doing it? And second, what would this mean for the rest of the crypto space?
David, my little known fact here, my cousin Howard, I'll mention him because he'll watch this interview, who is a fabulous attorney in South Carolina, was in the Peace Corps in El Salvador.
Okay.
And he's intimately familiar with El Salvador. You know, he's lived there, done all this stuff. He's very tuned in. Okay. And I sent him this article, and he said, well, they don't have a lot to lose. Okay. Now, he loves El Salvador. So he's not being condescending to El Salvador, but he's saying, what do they got to lose? They got nothing to lose. Okay. So there's no sovereignty to hold on to there, in the sense that there's no relinquishing power to adopt Bitcoin. It can be beneficial. El Salvador is not the United States. I mean, the United States has got its money is its primary means of controlling people. That's why when you see someone didn't cooperate with the United States, they sanction them. What does it mean to sanction them? You block them off of the dollar system. That's how the U.S. punishes people. Okay, now I'm not going to get involved in that, because that's, you know, I think morally, you know, there's some problems with that philosophy, but that's what the U.S. does. The crypto people always tell you, oh, the SWIFT system, it's antiquated. It's like an Atari video game. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but they've got a dozen nuclear-powered carrier battle groups running around the world, pointing cannons at people, telling them to use it. Okay, does Polkadot Coin have that? No, I don't think so. All right, so this is what you got to see, is that small countries are wise to adopt Bitcoin as a form of payment. Remittance, remember, remittance is really big. Somebody leaves El Salvador, they come here, they work, they send money home, send it. You want to make it as easy as possible. Right now, people Western Union the money down there, and there's gigantic fees attached to that, or MoneyGram. But you send it over. El Salvador should say, we'll take any money you got, okay? Anything you got, we'll take it. It's wise of the president to do this. But what it does not mean is that all the countries of the world are going to say, there's no need for us to have money anymore. We'll just let the cryptocurrency du jour be what people use. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, I've also read that not everybody in El Salvador has a bank account. So maybe crypto wallets will become the new financial institution backup in a
maybe. I mean, you have Nigeria was really early in the scene here with M-Pesa. They had this payment system by phone that was amazing. I mean, going back 5-6 years, they had this, and it was how people performed small transactions. Remember, the tiny transactions. But the issue with Bitcoin today is that if you buy a bowl of rice with Bitcoin, I mean, you'll pay enough for a filet mignon when with the transaction costs. So, I mean, it's just a lot of this stuff is a look into the future. Okay, you're going to have Fed coin, you're going to have El Salvador coin, which is going to probably be paired to Fed coin if the U.S. can hold on to its grip on world power until that time. I mean, that to be determined. That's a whole nother conversation. But that's what the plan is. That's how this is being set up. Now, everybody's adopted it. All the waiters in the U.S., once the market deflates, they'll be used to it, and they'll say FedCoin will make it so there'll never be a crash again, and your identity will never be stolen again, and all these things. David, you have all this news about the pipeline and all these hacks, okay, which are very mysterious hacks, because they don't quite smell like a traditional hack. If you have any hacker friends, ask them about it. And then the Bitcoin are all recovered. And people say, well, how do they do that? It's our brave heroes down with their white shirt and black tie down at the FBI federal building that are working night and day to protect people. Okay, every single Bitcoin is trackable. I mean, remember there was a kid in Orlando who was hacking Twitter accounts about a year and a half ago, and he tried to wash the Bitcoin ransom money, and they found him. They showed up at his house. Every single transaction is tracked, traceable. It has to cross over an internet network. And you guys, you got to understand something. All those pipes that run your emails and cell phone pictures and all these things, they're all tracked. I hate to tell you something. When you put something on the internet, it's not private information. It's captured.
Before we wrap up, just for fun, would you ever consider a crypto royalty business? Couple miners come to you and say, hey, you need financing, take 1% upfront. Would you do that for a crypto miner?
We've looked at it. This is a great question. The thing that makes the gold royalty interesting is when you take a section of the earth, you get 1% of all the gold that comes out of that. So you take 1,000 acres and any gold that's ever found there, you get 1%. It's easily definable. The issue with crypto is the computer technology keeps growing, the cost of energy keeps changing, the location keeps changing. So we had a hard time pinning down the actual economics. When you originally saw Bitcoin come out 10 years ago or so, you could mine it with a laptop. Now I've been to the largest Ethereum mine in the world, and there were thousands upon thousands of computers strung together with wires, and the whole place sounded like a beehive. So as that keeps changing, it becomes complicated. I think one day people are going to see that the safest place to put your money in the world is a gold royalty. I mean, as far as investments go, that's what I believe now, and that's why we got Metallic going, and that's why I put so much money into it. I hope you'll have me back to see if I'm right.
Well, we'll have you back even before the results speak for themselves, EB. So we'll have plenty to discuss next time. Thank you very much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me, David.
And thank you for watching Kitco News. I'm David Lin.